loaded edition.
Yeah.
About one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. WCW's New Blood Rising.
What day is it again?
Tuesday. Monday. It's Monday. Oh, shit.
When you're down in the dumps and you need something to bring you.
Hey Domino's, if you want to sponsor the show for giving Levi the shits at 2 a.m., you can email us at heelsandquads@gmail.com.
And everybody's just having a good old fucking time here. They're having a great time at Bash at the Beach.
Because it was free.
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
The show must go on, but things must go wrong.
I wanted to have a fucking puke bucket next to me and be like, oh my god, he's gonna puke.
There's something wrong with me. I'm gonna go, look, dude, I'm in a big league him.
Look, dude, do you know who I am and do you know how much money I've made doing it?
Wrestling is so fucking stupid, dude. God, I love it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Heels and Quads Wrestling Podcast. It's been our usual 2 weeks, I think, right?
Give or
Something
take.
like that.
It's like 3 weeks, but it's no big deal.
I'm Levi, of course, accompanied by Tommy, my tag team partner in the podcasting world. I'm not in my usual location. I'm at my mother's house, out of town for the weekend, but we'll be back home later. And we got to put out the show.
Tell them your original plan, though. You were just going to show up at my house, right?
I was just going to show up at your house, yeah, and then I woke up late, and I had this illustrious plan to wake up early and then go to your house. But then I was like, I have to ask for the address, and so that would be weird, especially after I was like, yeah, I'm coming Mountain Home this weekend.
I would have been like, can you come back another time? Because my kids destroy my house, so.
That's all right.
That's okay.
My mom always thinks that she has to clean the house like hardcore before we come over, and it's never dirty.
Right.
She's like, well, I gotta clean. And I'm like, I don't even know what you had to clean. It's like literally, it looks like she's moving out or something.
I don't know, man. I've always been like that, though. If I know somebody's coming to my house, I have to clean.
Yeah, I get
it. It stresses me out.
Yeah.
That's also your mom, though. She wants to make sure it's the way it was when you left the last time.
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't want to shock your system.
Like, not to be confused with the Undisputed Era.
Right. Well, if you were going to confuse it with something, it would be the Undisputed Era.
Because it shocks the system.
Right. What do you think about that? Apparently, last night was Adam Cole's last appearance for NXT.
Is he moving up to the main roster? Or
it's either the main roster or AEW. His contract is up.
Okay. Oh, I read something about that a couple of weeks back. It said something about his contract was coming up. I don't know, man. AEW is kind of packed right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he needs to go right now. But it would be fine if he did, because, I mean, why would it be bad if he went, you know?
Right.
But it's just there's so many high-level talents in AEW right now that it's like it's starting to get a little crowded.
It's almost too much.
It's almost too much, yeah. I mean, almost, yeah. There's a lot of because I mean, you don't right now. Your main event scene, see, AEW has that right now, where their big title picture, they have a handful of guys that they can use. They got Christian, they got Omega, they got Punk whenever that time comes. They got Malachi Black. They got Cody, but I don't know if he's still doing that no title thing.
Yeah, he's still doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hangman.
I mean,
is on his way. Darby's on his way.
There's just a lot of guys that they could win that like if something went wrong with Kenny or Christian, whoever walks out all out as champion, they could there's interchangeable people, because everybody gets over there because they don't have stupid gimmicks that somebody gave them. They have they have their ideas that they pitch to the boss. So yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, Adam Cole would be fine over there. And also with the TV title too. You got Miro, who I still see him as a main event talent. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think Adam Cole would be fine over there. But there's just I don't know. There's just a lot of talent over there, and there's still a lot of people I would like to see get over more.
Mhm.
But I also haven't been watching every week for the last couple of months. I just kind of the summer sucked, and I haven't watched as much as I'd like to. But I keep up enough. So yeah, I mean, it'd be okay if he went over there, but make it maybe I don't know, make it a long build
Yeah.
to like a secret cryptic debut, but he's also not that big. So
Take some time off though in between. There's no
that.
shame in that. Give it 6
yeah,
months.
that's fine. Bulk up a little bit.
Yeah.
Something, whatever you want to do. Come back a little beefier.
There's a lot of matches still with the roster that's there now that I still want to see that we haven't seen. And obviously we'll talk about Friday night, but
To your point with that, the roster, there's so many matches you want to see with that roster. It feels like every time a new guy comes in, like a new big name, it almost pushes that back for a second.
Mhm.
And I think unintentionally, it's just because there's so much heat and hype around the new person that's like, well, we got to get them on TV. People want to see them because they do what the fans
That's
want.
like Christian coming back, or coming to AEW, and right away, it's like not right away. I mean, he's been there for a bit, but he's right in the main event.
Revolution?
Yeah, that's right. But right into the main event scene. February,
March, April, May, June,
it's
July,
been a few months.
August. Yeah, we're looking at like close to 7 months now.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. And he has been wrestling to work his way up the card.
Right. Great record.
But he's also kind of the impact guy too right now, since they're doing that. So that's all right, because he can kind of get lost over there and make room for someone else to challenge Kenny. But I'm looking forward to that match at All Out. That's going to be awesome. But I think Kenny might hold the belt until who takes it from him.
Yeah.
Or somebody else. I don't know.
I would like to see, I mean, I know Kenny's heel right now, but I would rather see like a true blue heel take it from Kenny and then that person taking it.
Kind of that double turn type thing.
But there's so many other people that I'd rather see have the belt first before the big return from Friday gets the belt. I guess we can kind of talk about it now.
Well, I think clearly CM Punk came back and it's a huge deal, and we'll talk more about that. But I think he kind of has some warming up. Like, he's been gone for 7 years. You don't just get to come back and be champion right away. It's just not how it is. So Darby Allin, the first match,
which I think is perfect.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And I saw someone tweet like, what a waste of a return. It's like, the dude's been gone 7 years. He doesn't just get to come back and win and beat Kenny right away.
Well, and I sent you my tweet that I sent out after the media scrum. Nobody asked or even brought up the fact that, how appreciative fans should be over the fact that he's not getting a title shot first match, because it could have easily went that way. And it would have made sense. But like I said in that tweet, a storyline build between Kenny Omega and CM Punk, the best bout machine and the best in the world.
There you go.
Build it.
There
Build
it
it.
is.
6 months. Build it up.
I think they can even do like Double or Nothing or All Out next year.
Yeah.
Give it like a year build, because Kenny, let's be real, Kenny doesn't have to drop the belt anytime soon.
No, and it doesn't even have to be for the belt that match.
No, it doesn't. It could just be
the best bout machine, best in the world. That's the story.
Or even started at Full Gear. I know it's a little soon, but kind of work his way up like Christian did. And then you do that match, that moniker, the best in the world versus best bout machine, all that stuff. And then the story kind of starts there, and it's like, okay, it's like the Moxley and Kenny thing that went on for a good year or whatever. So you can do the same thing with him, and you can also do Moxley and Punk. I'd love to see that match.
And Punk brought that up. He's never faced Moxley.
Yeah. That's cool.
Other
than the Shield shit,
right?
3-on-1.
But yeah, I don't count that. And I'm still trying to separate Ambrose and Moxley, which I've started to finally do that.
You're finally getting over it.
The big match that I've seen nobody talk about. Nobody, nothing on Twitter, nothing in any other podcast or video on YouTube because I've been watching it for the last now 5 hours, trying to like pump myself up to do this. Can you imagine CM Punk, MJF?
That would be good.
Just the fucking promos alone.
I was gonna say, dude, just on the
Holy
on the
fuck.
mic alone, that's a pretty big match. And I think Punk, I think he's gonna. That's probably on his radar. He wants to do that because if he's been watching, which I'm sure he has since he came to the company now, he wants to put the kid over, but he can beat him and still put him over.
Yeah, right.
Know?
Just
and
make
also,
him look good.
To that point, Chris Jericho and CM Punk again. But it's all these matches we might have seen, but we could see again also, but in a different company where it's not like, okay, don't outperform Roman or don't outperform John Cena. You know, make sure you guys, let's keep your match at 12 minutes and don't be too crazy out there. Because I feel like that's what it is. I know I said it before, like it's my little conspiracy theory. They don't want certain matches outshining the main event. And then you also got to think about the whole Bray Wyatt thing. I'm sure he's got a 90-day no compete, but what's the chances that he just quits wrestling? So Impact or AEW, he could be going there because he's still got a lot of years in it.
Yeah.
With
well,
that
I guess he had sent a tweet out over the weekend. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. That apparently he said something to the effect that he wants to wrestle until he dies, basically.
Well,
so
because
I kind of thought that too. I was like, fuck. I mean, he could quit now and probably be okay, but what else?
Yeah, but
what
why,
else would
you know?
What else would you do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Start a podcast?
Can you imagine Bray Wyatt, Malachi Black? That's
I'd love
great
that.
match.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
But going back to Adam Cole, I'd love to see Adam Cole and Chris Jericho.
Oh man, that I never thought about that, but that's a very good.
That's
match.
the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that was probably it for him at NXT. I was like, fuck, him and Jericho would tear it up.
Cole is kind of a modern day Jericho.
He is.
In a way. He's very Jericho-esque.
Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, that kind of.
Yeah, he's not as big as either of them, but a lot of the wrestlers nowadays are not jacked like those guys were.
As they call them, quote unquote, vanilla midgets.
Vanilla midgets, yeah. So yeah, man, there's potential for a lot of crazy matchups coming up soon, and within all three of those companies that are kind of in cahoots, Impact, Japan, and AEW. So there's could be a very exciting next couple of years. And Punk, I don't remember what Punk's age is now. He's probably like 44 or something.
I looked it up. I think it said 42. Okay. Because little Tommy asked me, because I showed him and Kyler, and Tommy goes, "Man, he looks old now." And I'm like, well, he's just got a little gray in his beard.
Some people get gray at 30, man.
So do I, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm only 34. But just endless possibilities.
There's a lot. And you can wrestle well into your 50s if you're playing with the right guys.
Look at Jericho.
Yeah, dude. I mean, for real.
But even like CM Punk said on the media scrum that he would be open to wrestling at the G1 if they asked him. It would be a discussion.
That would be so awesome.
And Tony's like, that's a lot of matches. He said, I said discussion. But I mean, I would love to see that shit.
Tony's such a great dude too. Like, I know that's been said so many times, but he's such a good dude. Like, the media thing is happening. He's like, it's all him, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just here.
And he's just his facial expressions were like, that said it all. He's a fan. He's a fan with money, and
with a decent amount of money.
Yeah. he's just pumped up. That, I mean, that's a huge coup to him, is that other people had a hand in it, but he is the guy that brought back one of the most popular wrestlers ever.
Yeah.
Not my personal favorite. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm not a Punk guy, but I will say this is the most exciting wrestling has been in a long fucking time.
Big time.
I know
Big
you're
time.
excited
It's
for it, and I was
yeah,
excited to see you be excited for it.
like we say that a lot. It's an awesome time to be a wrestling fan, but like ever since AEW's been around, it's kind of been like that. Like it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because there's just constantly new, big, exciting things happening, and there's a lot of those guys that, like, obviously a lot of guys that are older or we loved as kids and have been around for a long time are in AEW now, but you have to have those guys. You know, you can't just have a company that's all these. That's so hard to get over 100 new guys that nobody knows. That's a lot of work. So you have to have those older guys to get over those younger guys. So
You
for
have
those
to
people
have
that
those
don't
older
understand,
guys that are willing to put those younger guys
put those
over.
exactly, yeah,
Guys like
because
Jericho,
there's
guys like Christian, Big
that
Show.
love doing it.
Yeah.
And
Dustin Rhodes, another one.
also, yeah, because that dude, even Punk and Dustin Rhodes, like that could be an amazing match. Not that he needs to put Punk over, but like, dude, Dustin and I mean, throw MJF in a program with Dustin.
Yeah.
Like he's
I'd
already.
love
I
that.
guess they've kind of had
Kinda,
some stuff,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just shit like that. Like you can have those guys, and it's the ones that can lose to them.
Mhm.
Like you got your Jericho. It's like Jericho can lose, but a lot of times he doesn't. He doesn't have to lose to put them over. He can get them over, and that's kind of how Punk is too. I feel like Punk can still win and put them over. And man, I don't know. It's just wild to
Okay.
even think that he's back.
Scenario though. So say Punk does lose to Darby at All Out. I don't think it'll happen, but what would that place do if it happened?
That'd be really wild, especially because his first match back in
Yeah.
7 years. Like
Right.
that would be kind of insane for that to happen.
He kind of has to win.
He has to win, but also I think it's going to be a good 20 minutes, 15 to 20, and there's going to be those false finishes that are just
Oh yeah.
like you're almost like, wow, Darby's really might do this because they're good at telling stories like that. The agents, Arn or whoever, like those guys know how to tease the crowd like that. So and help those young guys, but also Punk like doesn't really need that help. Maybe
He can probably produce his own match.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Malenko will get that one.
Yeah, probably.
If I was a betting man.
He'll be cracking his dry humor jokes the whole time that are funny.
I love them.
I do too. Another thing I was going to say is I would just assume we're going to see a Chris Jericho Punk episode on Jericho's pod because
I think it has to happen.
I think it has to because anytime a guy comes back or comes over, he gets him on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
another thing that I really liked. And I keep going back to the media scrum. It's on YouTube. You can find it. But like, I guess doing this makes me more interested in that. Plus, I'm just more of a behind the scenes kind of guy.
yeah.
Not that I don't still like to watch matches, but I like to know what goes into shit.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
I like to see how the sausage is made, to use a Punk quote that he doesn't think we want to know that, but we do. Especially us. So they talked about how, you know, they've been talking for a year and a half or, you know, 2 years or whatever it's been. Neither one of them really knew for sure. But the fact that, you know, he couldn't come back with nobody in the audience, no audience during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So that helped him, you know, a little bit, like stretch it out a little bit more. But then I thought about like guys like Brody when he came in and Matt Hardy, like how big those could have been, you know? And it kind of bummed me out, but I like that he didn't want to do it like that. And not that those guys did, because they were supposed to debut in Rochester, New York, and just, you know, that happened. There was nothing they could do about it. But I really like the fact that he kind of had an idea he was coming back, but he wasn't quite sure when.
But he was like, I think the fans being there is a good time to do it. Fans weren't back till like Double or Nothing, right?
They had some at Daly's place for that.
Oh, that's when they were doing the small audiences. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Matt Hardy, that's a big one. And Brody, same thing, man. It kind of sucks that they didn't get that. But at the same time, it was what it was. And they were getting away from
And that stuff
what they
kind of
need to
helped
get away
us
from.
get through that, though, that pandemic era. You know? I mean, not that
So
it's over.
Yeah, but that's a special, like, that holds a special place to everybody, I think, too, is like those guys came during that and gave us something entertaining to watch during all that too, for whoever was actually in like a lockdown at home and were working from home. I don't know. I'm glad he waited for the fans. And in Chicago, I mean, it's Chicago, you know, so that blows.
There's
that
no
place-
way it was going to flop, but there was no way it was going to
No.
flop anywhere. It could have,
No.
like, I had this discussion over the weekend. I'm like, he could have debuted in fucking Tupelo and that place would have fucking blown up.
Yeah, it didn't have to be Chicago, but it made it that much better because honestly, man, I watched those top 10 pops on YouTube and all that, those compilations. I love them so much. Stone Cold Backlash 99 is always the top one.
That one,
I think that's it.
And when
No.
The Rock came back to host WrestleMania, when the lights went out and like the cameras up,
Oh yeah,
by, like,
that's huge.
you know, at
That
the
was
top of the
huge.
arena, the lights
Yeah.
are out, and then it comes back on, and you see like people
If
like
you
holding the rail,
smell-
like
Yeah. The electricity was gone, wasn't it?
yeah.
Isn't that what it
was?
was?
Like,
Yeah.
shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that hit, and everybody just fucking lost it. That was so
What was
good.
the one
But
what was the one I said before that? The Stone Cold one. I think I'm questioning
Stone Cold
what I
one.
said now. Maybe it was Backlash 2000 because he came back. Backlash 99, he had the title. So yeah, and then he dropped it to the right. Yeah, it would have been Backlash 2000 or something like Judgment Day, something like that. Anyways,
because he wasn't at Mania 2000.
he does the run in because he was supposedly at Backlash, and they kept talking like, when's Stone Cold gonna show up? And then he finally shows up. When his music hits, the roof blows off.
Right.
But that was same thing. It could have been any arena.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. And that was just a random arena. That was, I don't even remember. That was like Hartford, Connecticut, or something like that.
But Stone Cold always had those pops, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the Road Warrior pop, you know. It's like anytime he came out on a random fucking Raw, even SmackDown, hit that. Anytime you heard that,
it just
back then,
blows up, man.
All the signs up in the fucking crowd and shit. But
yeah, and The Rock too. He had it was the glass breaking and if you smell, like that's all they had to hear. And now you got the like that's the new big pop. And I think it'll go on for a while because people aren't going to get tired of him for a while because it's been so long.
And it's not like Brock Lesnar coming back Saturday at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that was just like, oh,
cool. I mean,
I face Roman again.
But I mean, the cool thing is there is a different dynamic this time because Roman's a heel, and I guess Brock is going to be a baby face. I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know how that's going to work since he's such a fucking asshole. But
how many times have we seen it? You know,
right?
And how many times can it actually be somewhat exciting? It's not. It never was to me.
Right.
Because I just didn't buy into it. I was so checked out of the Fed by then.
Right.
It was just not.
I'd heard, I think, I forget who it was. I might have read it, but apparently it was supposed to be Roman and Brock at not this coming WrestleMania, but the next one, the following one. And I guess they're kind of pushing it closer to now, like, I guess, the Saudi show or Survivor Series, because they're still talking about Roman and Rock. At Mania. Which I would like that because I'd have to watch that. I'd want to see it, but also to have Roman as a heel and Rock as the babyface, because Rock coming back as a heel that's not going to work.
That'd be so bizarre. Yeah.
When he did it, when he first came back from Hollywood, like it was still just kind of like, yeah, but
he was still so over that it wasn't. It was like that, like Kenny Omega as a heel.
Yeah.
Like nobody really hates the guy. I think that is probably one of the earlier times of people actually liking the heel.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Stone Cold kind of started
that NWO
whole thing. Yeah, NWO, Stone Cold,
DX.
The kind of the bad guys, are the good guys. Like it was a rebellious time period, I guess. And so
I would say Ric Flair too, but that was more like in the 80s. That was more with like the girls, you know, the girls would kind of swoon like for him, you know?
Yeah. And that's, I guess that's probably where the roots really come from. But that's now fans are just so smart compared to what they used to be that you're here. Like, it doesn't matter what they play, heel or face, like their merch is going to get bought. And it's always been that way, but the merch is going to get bought. Tickets are going to get sold and people are going to love to watch it. But now it's just so much more like it's exciting because we're like, oh, he's getting turned heel. Like people back in the day didn't really say that. They're just like, well, what's wrong? What's up with this guy? Because people took it a lot more serious back then, you know.
Well, and also, you know, people didn't have the internet as available,
And
you
the
know?
internet is a huge part of it.
It's almost too much sometimes. When it's
It
like
is.
just let it play out. Like I said, I
Yeah.
love behind the scenes shit, but I also like to be surprised. I like to not know who's gonna turn when. Like just let the story unfold, you know. But
Yeah.
it's just the way it is now because the internet's polluted everything. I did want to talk to you about the first Rampage did 785,000 views, I think, which is great for Friday night. It premiered after SmackDown, which was smart. Don't put it against that because
that's good that they do it at
that's
night.
on fucking Fox. Like everybody with you know can get it. You know,
you can't go against that.
No,
It's just not possible.
But for that late at night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern time, and to get almost a million viewers on your first episode of a new show, that's fucking big time.
Have the numbers come out for the
Punk? They come out yet? Tomorrow, but this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So the early numbers so far, they're huge.
Huge.
They're guesstimating at 1.1 to 1.2 million.
Okay.
Guesstimating. And that's all, you know, also they have to do like the weekend, you know, they have to look at that sling DVRs and all that stuff. But still, and now that he's back and he is Punk will be on Dynamite Wednesday.
Yeah. Dude. Oh, he will be on Dynamite Wednesday? Okay, because it kind of seemed like we wouldn't see him again until All Out.
No, they've already announced it. They've already announced it. Yeah. Cool. Which I will be watching that live.
Because I don't like the idea of him being a part-timer. I'm sorry, but anybody that's like that.
He said it's full-time.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah. I want to see what the numbers are going to be for Dynamite though, so bad. I'm already like.
Well, there was the debut alone got a lot of people watching because they're like, well, I mean, it's just been that's been the thing the last 7 years. It's possible,
but it's been possible every week though.
Yeah,
but this kind of everybody kept adding fuel to the fire, you know.
And Punk was adding fuel to the fire, and then now, so you got your Rampage numbers from the debut because people turned it on to see it, and then now it's like, okay, he's gonna be on Dynamite, so. What's the views going to look like just to watch his segment, whatever it may be. So,
I mean, that's still a part of it, but like with Rampage, I mean, you're not really losing out on anything. It's an hour show and it's late at night.
Which is weird to me. So I assume they just put on a good variety of matches, like a house show type thing after, or are they filming it?
Yeah, they're filming like Dark and Elevation and stuff.
Okay.
Before it.
Yeah.
Because I think they do like an hour before.
Because an hour is just not a long show.
Kind of like, like they used to do for Raw and SmackDown. They do like Heat or Metal or Jacked or
Velocity for SmackDown.
Superstars or whatever it was. But something people can enjoy while they're sitting there fucking waiting. Because like you saw it, like, Kansas City when we both went to Raw that time, it's a lot of fucking sitting around.
Yeah.
And
what they do, Superstars or something? They did Main Event.
Yeah, they did Main Event before. But it was and it was like 30 minutes but then you're sitting there waiting for and then you get the countdown to when they go to TV and stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited though.
Another thing at Rampage was the signs in the crowd. There was a lot of signs. It looked 90s and 2000s esque.
It felt old school.
Yeah, and it was just a huge deal. That I like the Rampage show. That's kind of their SmackDown, I guess, in a way. But it's just I'm fine with the 1 hour show, but it's so weird because like if there's a big match, it can't be a long match because of the TV times and all that. But that's fine.
And that's a great way to start a show. You start it with a title match. You start it with Kenny Omega and Christian. And that's a great way to get that show over. And that's what got eyeballs on it. But with it being an hour and, Dynamite's 2 hours, but then you got Elevation and Dark that are both, sometimes they're like 3-4 hours, and like
Yeah.
there's so much already.
And those are just on YouTube, right?
Yeah, just on YouTube, which is good. Don't
Yeah, it's fine.
But you're not putting so much into it, but you're letting those young guys and girls get over on
Yeah.
that show. You get reactions on that show. You get, comments on YouTube. You're getting it all in real time. Where with TV, you have to wait until the next day or over the weekend for ratings
Yeah.
to see whose matches did better.
Yeah, you do get the YouTube numbers in real time, which are collective rather than all at once.
Mhm.
So that makes it different. But you get paid on YouTube.
Yeah.
So whatever. I mean, that's
And I mean, but there's also people that, they can go to Twitter and they can be like, oh, you got to go watch this match from Dark or Dark Elevation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, who are you? But maybe I should watch that match, especially if it's somebody you like, because everybody's on it. Moxley's been on it. Omega's been on it. The Bucks are, everybody's on those shows. It's not just the young people or the newer people, but it makes it worthwhile.
That's for those, since that's being taped at a Rampage or a Dynamite type thing. That's also for the fans that, like, if they're not there on that TV episode, which most people are, you still get to see them live. Like, the crowd goes home happy.
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, Sting was on it.
Oh, really?
I mean, he didn't have a match, but he was, he came out. He was with Darby. Yeah.
And the work schedule, man, for these guys, I think that's a big thing for Punk, Moxley, all these guys who came from the Fed who are fucking burnt out. They work 2 days a week, sometimes 3.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all they got to do. And they're just so much happier. They get to, they have control of their character. Yeah, we assume they have control of their character in a way. Tony Khan's obviously the Vince McMahon, and he's the be all end all, but he's the last say. But they still get to be like, hey, I got this idea. And Tony's a wrestling fan that gets it. So he's like, yeah, that's a good one. Do it. And like Punk goes out without a script. Man, that makes it so much more genuine and better. A lot of these guys do. They go out without a script, and it just makes it, they know how to tell their story. They don't have to be fucking micromanaged the whole way. They're professionals. They know how to get the crowd behind them. They know what they need to do to either make the crowd dislike them or like them. And it's just nice that it's just a good company, man. And yeah, I am blowing them because they do a good job. They do a really good job, and they've made me enjoy wrestling again. If it wasn't for that company, man, I wouldn't be watching because I just don't care about WWE. Like Edge and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, I'm interested in that. And
I just want to see the entrance.
That was cool. Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet. He came out, to the
Brood Edge,
to the music,
Oh, that's cool, man.
It kind of sucks now that Christian's there, because if he would have came out with Christian and Gangrel, that would have been fucking.
That would have been amazing.
Bitching.
Yeah, but whatever. It's Edge. He's over. He can do what he wants.
But it's almost like they're trying to take some of the wind out of the sails, almost.
Yeah,
from AEW, because then you got Becky coming back. Saturday night you had Brock coming back, which I mean Becky's cool, like obviously over a star. I guess she's a heel though, which is kind of dumb, I guess. But whatever.
No, I don't get too excited about it.
I mean, but she got, her and Seth had a baby and all that stuff. So
she was gone for a while.
So, I mean, that's refreshing, but like Brock returning, it's like, we've seen this before, This is a rerun.
Back, he's got a new look.
Yeah. He's got a brony tail.
A brony tail and a beard. Wow.
Yeah. Cool, man.
All right. This is different, man. This is crazy. Yeah. Wrestling's popping off in the Fed. Yeah. That place just isn't really going to get any better until nobody will ever get a say, though. It's always Vinnie Mac. He's the man. So whatever. I just can't watch it. There's a lot of people there that I like and I think are really good talents. They have so many people under their umbrella, but someday they can maybe do something else.
And I hate when people just on social media just like, oh, it's never going to change until Vince is gone and stuff. But nobody wants that to happen. Like, dude, I've said this before on the pod. I would be fucking devastated if Vince passed away. I
don't think he's ever going to die. I really don't. I
think he'll find
he's
some
the fucking Terminator. Yeah. He's not going anywhere. The dude, I would say that dude's going to live to be about 100 years old at least. He's just because he's just a fucking crazy
Well, his
machine.
mom was like, I think she was like 101 or 2 when she passed not too long ago.
I think Vinnie Mac's gonna be alive for a long time, and he's dude. He's healthy, man.
Yeah, he looks older and he looks tired, but you know, he's still big.
He doesn't sleep, so of course he's tired. But yeah, that's, you know, the company is what it is. It's a flavor for. There's just different flavors for everybody. Everybody's got a different palate, and that if that's what you like, that's fine, man. But that's not really what I'm into. I'm into the modern day wrestling now.
And people want to, you know, they stick with it because it's been, you know, engraved in their mind that that's what wrestling is, and it's not wrestling anymore. It hasn't been wrestling for a long time.
It's just entertainment. It's too much emphasis on entertainment, but it's not entertaining to me, though.
Right? It's not
different.
But it's like anything. Like, I don't like rap music, you know, but
it's not entertaining for you.
You know, I'm not going to go to the Gathering of the Juggalos like Colt Cabana did over the weekend, but you know, whatever. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But I branch out a little bit. And that goes for you know, people who just watch AEW now. Like, branch out, like watch some New Japan's, you know, go back, get New Japan World and go back and watch where these guys, you know, learned how to really do this, you know. Watch old Ring of Honor shit, you know.
It's great. So every now and then I'll see a clip from SmackDown or something on YouTube that I'm like, well, I'll watch it. Like, I watched the Bloodbath clip and I was like, okay, whatever. It's black. It's not really, doesn't look like blood.
Doesn't look like
I
the
always
old
have
days.
something to criticize. Yeah. And
no, I said the same thing. I'm like, that's not fucking blood. That looks like chocolate.
It's like chocolate. Yeah. But there was something I was going to say about the Fed. It'll always have that, and I've said it before on here, but it'll always have that special place, man, from that my era of the Fed, you know, the 90s to the 2000s, to the late 2000s. Like, that's I think it was still good then. There was good matches, there was good storylines. Ruthless Aggression era, I loved it. Attitude era, of course. Even the new generation, there was just kind of real life-ish storylines going on.
Somewhat gimmicky.
More so on the other side, on WCW,
right.
But like, it was more gimmicky in the Fed. But you had your Shawn Michaels,
but it was still fun.
Diesel, Scott. Yeah, it was still fun. And now it's just
colorful.
It was still
colorful.
Yeah, it was still colorful. I think I like to say I always go back to it, but like the going PG, man, that's what changed it. And I know so many people dwell on it, and I don't think that's all, but you got to go back to 2002 or 2001 when they became a publicly traded company. That was the start.
Yeah.
Because things had to change.
Publicly traded, the Super Bowl ad, 99?
Yeah.
I think is when, because I think they went public right before the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think they went public in January of 99.
It was in Jim Ross's book. Yeah. That was it. Because it was during that the halftime heat, all that shit. But like, it starts back then, even though that was still the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
it was still awesome.
Yeah.
But it's about a 10-year span where the company was evolving into this monstrous thing. And it became, and it now 20 years, it's been evolving to this monstrous thing. It's an entertainment industry now.
It's Disney.
It's a empire. Yeah, it's Disney. It's wrestling Disney. Whereas, 20 years before, and also Disney, if you look at Disney way back when, it wasn't as big, but Disney now, it's always
Star
been
Wars,
big, but
Fox.
Yeah, all that shit, So it starts with them being publicly traded, and 10 years goes by, then you go PG, and then that to me is just kind of when it starts dwindling down. And the creative, whether it's all Vince, whoever, I don't know.
Would you say kind of also when there was the turn to HD? Because I feel like once that HD went up in that left hand corner.
Yes, that was a big part.
Yeah.
And it was inevitable. That's every company. I mean, everything on television went HD in that 07 to 11 time period. Like there was a span where that happened. But yeah, because I kind of correlate that with PG. That was about the same time. It was early 08 they went HD, and then mid 08 they went PG. Like I think Backlash or Judgment Day was the last TV 14 show, or the
Yeah,
last TV 14
I want to say,
pay-per-view.
yeah, it was like May, June. You're right.
But blood lightened up, and the boobs and TNA and all that kind of lightened up in years like 07, 08-ish. Like they were slowly transitioning. So I think they knew for a while they were going PG eventually, but they kind of had to start to dwindle that down a little bit too. So that's where it starts for me though. And then, we watched a good deal of the 2010s, and that's when we met and watched together a lot. But
Yeah.
we had our things we wanted to get excited for, and then it just finally just couldn't do it anymore. So what was it, like 18, 19? That's kind of when we were like, yeah, we're going to do
The
other
show
stuff.
The show started in November of 17. Yeah, this 4 years coming up. Yeah. And
we got our Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's coming up for me when I really kind of started to fall out of the Fed was once they got the F out. That to me, I mean, there was still good stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, when they kind of conceded to the World Wildlife Fund, the PANDA,
yeah,
it just,
and became World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a big,
but wrestling is still in the name. And even though they don't want to use that word, which I'm never going to get over that. Like that's supposedly a no word. And they're not wrestlers. They're superstars. No, they're fucking wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, they're big stars now. They are like, they get made into a star, but
yeah. Well, I mean, shit. I mean, they got ice cream at Walmart, or wherever you get, ice cream. They've got t-shirts at Walmart. They've everywhere. Action figures, these guys are made up to be these larger than life characters, and they are for the
superheroes.
Most part. But WWE caters to that family entertainment. It is a circus. It is Barnum and Bailey. That's what it is. AEW is a pro wrestling company. New Japan is a pro wrestling company.
But AEW also kind of caters to that family thing, and that there are those people. But here's the thing.
But it's more like when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's family entertainment, pro wrestling, but with a bit of an edge.
Yeah, and you have to have that.
You have to have an edge.
You have to have that edge. That's just
not
edge.
I know. Not the rated R.
Edge.
Not to be confused with the rated R superstar.
But it's also family entertainment is different now. And I know it is what it is, but there's a lot of parents now that let their kids watch things or play things. Maybe when we were kids, it wasn't okay, but we also watched the Attitude Era as kids, and that probably wasn't okay.
And, we grew up watching South Park.
Yeah. All that
Beavis
stuff
and Butthead.
blew up back then. Yeah. So it's, I mean, these kids now, they're watching Rick and Morty and shit.
Yeah.
So
my kids watch it. Family Guy, American Dad. They're they're
kids
still
are going to learn. The thing is, kindergarten, preschool, whatever, all that. Kids are going to learn fuck, and they're going to learn shit, and they're going to learn ass and all that. And they're going to see blood, and they're going to see violence. It just is what it is. It's the world. They have, a lot of these kids have, rich kids, I guess, have cell phones when they're 5, And so they can do anything on the internet unless their parents have it blocked. But
and they do. Trust me.
They do. So it's something that like the kids are going to see it eventually. So, but I'm not saying AEW is showing crazy stuff like that, but it's it's all right to see blood. It's all right to hear a cuss word here and every now and then. And there's movies or PG movies where they say ass or damn or hell or whatever.
I just think it's funny to expand on what you're saying as a parent. I just think it's funny that, everybody's so quick to press that cancel button when you're doing it at your own home. You're saying those words in front of your kids, whether you want to admit it or not. You're saying it. They're hearing
even if you try to protect them, you're going to slip up and they're going to hear it.
They're going to hear it.
They're going
to hear you and your significant other with the bedroom door closed, getting in an argument over money or whatever, and you're going to say something that probably shouldn't be said, but you say it anyways.
Yeah.
But you can't protect them forever. I mean, you can do your best.
Yeah.
But
you'll exhaust yourself doing that.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's not worth going to Twitter and trying to say you can't say that or you can't do that. Yeah, you kind of can.
Yeah.
So on that note,
that's a bit.
We got off the wrestling thing. But
there's your life. It's tied into that.
Yeah,
though.
we always get our life lesson in the Full House moment.
That to have wrestling TV 14, because there's going to be those, if you're one of those people that you're really strict and you don't want your kids hearing it or whatever, you're watching AEW and you see a certain person come out, you can probably say, hey, I'll let you watch it tomorrow. You need to leave the room for a little while because this is most likely the person to cuss. If the Bucks come out or whatever, that's fine. Yeah. They're good Christian boys. They're not going to say bad things.
Even on Being the Elite, Nick Jackson says prick like every episode multiple times.
He's a prick. Yeah. So
you got the Good Brothers on there talking about catching kisses and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
There was a lot of those things too when I was little and the Attitude Era was on. There was a lot of things I watched that I was like, what are they talking about? And then now I've gotten older and watched them.
Poontang Pie.
Yeah, that one. Come I was on. Like, I wasn't sure what that was when I was 5-6 years old, but now a year or two later. Yeah, pie eating. Yeah. So, anyways, but like that being said, just long story short, it's all right. Wrestling can be TV 14. It can have violence and cuss words and the days of bra and panty matches are over. Thank God, because they were fucking atrocious. And I'm glad women can actually dude, the women put on these matches that like the Thunder Rosa match, the hardcore match, the last one they had on there a couple months back, whatever it was, dude, that was amazing. And of course, we're a little biased. Thunder Rosa's our alumni and friend or whatever, but like women wrestling has come a long way. Yeah. And it started with that shit, that bra and panties and strip teases and mud matches and all that. Just, it was sex. It was the 90s. And the 80s was sex, the 90s was sex, and then the 2000s was more sex.
Yeah,
wild.
The 80s was sex and the 90s was sex like times a billion. But that's what it was. I mean, even Vince said they were basically trying to be like wrestling and Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
It's he said it in his promo, like the days of over. Saying your prayers and taking your vitamins are passe.
Why do you think there was a bunch of Kappa Sigs and Sigma Chi's at whatever fraternity and shit at Raws back then? Yeah. They all have their signs and they're doing painted, whatever.
The Nitro watch parties. And they would show them on Nitro.
They were there to see boobs and they were to see violence and see Stone Cold whip some ass and stomp a mud hole and The Rock. Listen to The Rock talk about Poontang Pie. It was a different time, and wrestling has evolved, but it's in a good place right now. If you miss that wrestling and also like modern wrestling and need an alternative, they are available now. There are many companies that are doing it right now, I think, to our liking. There's a lot of people who still love that old Fed style and that just whatever that is, that entertainment. There's a lot of people that love it and hate AEW and hate New Japan.
Oh,
that's fine.
Ton.
There's so many haters, and that's fine. Watch your Fed, man.
There's people that just absolutely hate the Fed.
Someday you're gonna see something in a different company and go, wow, that's pretty cool. And you're gonna get turned on to that. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
One more thing I wanted to say before we get out of here, because we are coming up on that time. But I did listen to Jim Cornette talk about Punk's return.
Yeah, what do you have to say about that?
He said they didn't do it. This is how he opened his podcast. They didn't do it the way that I would have done it. They did it better.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
I mean, that's that old guard too. That's that old guard. He's not ready to give it up, but gave kudos. And I think, whatever he does in his personal time and whatever his opinions are, they are still his opinions, and you can like them or you don't have to like them. But it's the same with everybody else,
Opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one.
Yeah, and people that want to like cancel people and say you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't do that. Same for you. That's your opinion.
You shouldn't try to cancel people.
Yeah.
There you go. So fuck off. Try to cancel me, bitches.
On that note,
we're canceled, so we better get out of here.
until the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
we'll come back for that yearly.
We'll
annually.
negotiate the one-off show in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, you know where to get the merch: prowrestlingtees.com/heels and quads.
It is
Pick
back
one of
up,
the
by the way.
shirts. It is. Call our Noble brand. You know the coupon codes: heels and quads in all caps. Saves you 10% at checkout. Same with Go Green Hemp. That's 15% at checkout. Heels and quads in all caps. And Man Can Wine, our boys over there, we're still looking for a care package. So if you guys listen to this episode,
I'm
I could
sober.
use some more Man Can.
I got the shakes right now.
That's 25% off with
And
coupon
free
code
shipping.
Heels and Quads and free shipping. So
Yes.
bam, there you go.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys again. I guess we'll be doing an all-out. I would assume an all-out review type thing will be our next show. I feel like that
should be the next one. Yeah.
So are we 2 weeks away?
2 weeks away. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that'll be our next
it's
show.
perfect. We'll talk
right.
to you guys for all out review sometime
Yes,
that week.
sir. Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
We'll see you then.
Bye.